Jesus Christ, here we go. Finally doing this discussion like we were supposed to. You know.
Oh God, that was a kerfuffle yesterday, wasn't it?
Should we tell them? Should we tell them about the absolute palaver that we have? We have just trying to record this.
We literally were going to do this yesterday, and we did sort of do it yesterday.
That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it? We did actually, genuinely. We're not just saying that we recorded this yesterday and forgot, and then or just like couldn't be asked or something. But we did genuinely record a 30-minute version of this yesterday.
We did, and sadly that's not lost, but it's unusable because we attempted the video call via Skype and using the Skype's recording function to record our video call, and it just the technical issues, the stuttering, the jittering, the freezing. I mean, it was honestly unwatchable.
On both ends, by the way, for the record.
Yeah, it was unwatchable, and it was such a shame because we said a lot of good stuff and we couldn't use it. But nevertheless, we have decided we'll do it again, but it will just be in this audio format. So
you missed a bit out there because we were actually going to do it. We had the idea also after we realised that the video didn't work. We were going to try again, but we were going to try and use Zoom, weren't we? And then that was, god damn, we didn't even get around to that. We didn't even attempt that.
Yeah, we were trying to find good options that didn't really cost anything, and with Zoom, you kind of, to record it, you need a premium, and me and Adam both decided we don't want to pay, the money each for that.
Just to record.
Yeah, so we thought, we'll just do it like this again. So until we can see each other once again after this COVID-19 shite and the lockdown that we have here in the UK, and we can do in person, we'll do them. But until now, exactly. This is all we're going to do.
Oh, exactly. I mean, if this was normal circumstances, we'd just be doing this as a normal video, as we normally do it. But this is how we got to do it for now. But there you are. Anyway,
right. Yes. Enough of the long intro for that. That's the explanation. Let's actually get on to the topic. So, what is it we are talking about today?
We are going to be doing a discussion again. The second time we talked about this. We are going to be doing a discussion on the new Studio Ghibli film, Earwig and the Witch. Now, the reason I decided to talk about this, I was kind of aware of it. I knew that it was being made, and I knew that it was a thing. I wasn't sure when it was coming out, and on Friday, yesterday, as we're recording this, the Ghibliotheque podcast, they basically managed to see it, and they did. I haven't listened to it yet, but they've done a sort of like their thoughts on it, and that made me think, well, hang on a minute, is the film out yet? So I looked into it, and it's out in the US on the HBO streaming thing that they've got, and but it's not out here in the UK yet. So just for the record, if anyone's wondering, we have not seen this film. That's not we're not talking.
No, that's not what this is about. Yeah, this is going to be about our reactions to the still images and the trailer
and the reviews for it,
and the reviews that it got, and just to talk about a bit what we think about how it looks and our reactions, to the review scores.
The review scores, yes. Although in saying that, I think we did say yesterday that we both agreed that we will watch the film for the purposes of reviewing it.
Oh yes. As soon as we watch it, we will review it. But I don't know when would we actually be able to watch it here. Do you think?
Well, I don't know. They haven't said yet. I think they're still working on when it's coming out here. They haven't. It's not got a release date here yet. But anyway, let's talk about what we can talk about. So, I've got the Wikipedia page up for the film. There's a huge thing about the plot of the film, which I'm gonna skip over because I don't.
Well, that's actually another funny thing, because when we used Wikipedia for the reference yesterday to talk about this and discuss this, they actually hadn't added the plot, had they?
No, the plot was not there yesterday, but it is today.
Because I actually made a point that I'm now eating my words about this, but I actually made a point to say that I thought it was a little bit strange how they had sort of like the premise on there, like the very brief description of what the film was about, but no plot. And I said that was a little bit uncharacteristic like of Wikipedia. Normally, if the film was big enough and good enough, then normally the plot's on there more or less as soon as the film comes out, because somebody puts it on there. But it is on there now, so there you go. So anyway, moving on.
Although we will not, for the record, for this discussion, we will not be talking about specific plot points of the film, because I kind of want to go into it.
Oh yeah, we don't want to spoil it for ourselves.
No, exactly. So I'm sure everyone knows, but this is Studio Ghibli's first full-length 3D CG film.
Oh God!
Which exactly, and I'm assuming that was a lot of, because I mean, CG anime in general does get a lot of shit. It's fair to say. Whenever a new anime comes out and people hear or see that it's CG, that automatically like puts. I don't know what it is, but I think people. I just get that. I think it's just people prefer traditional animation to CG. I just think that's what it is.
They do. I think there's a really almost like it's, excuse the pun, but almost like it's a bit of a dying art. I mean, a lot of things are CG these days, and people are traditionalists sometimes, and they don't like change. But the thing is, there is a reason for that, because Studio Ghibli has produced some absolute spectacles, masterpieces and it's sort of and it's the old thing really of, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and to interrupt that style is a bit weird, and as we both said yesterday, to say the words a CG Ghibli film, it just doesn't really sound right, does it?
Well, no. I mean, this isn't technically the first time that Studio Ghibli have done CG, because they did a TV series a few years ago, which was, I think it was called something like Ronnie and the Robber's Daughter or something, that came out on TV, and
I have not seen that.
I've seen a little bit of it, and it's okay, I guess. It's and that was CG. To be fair, but that was a TV series. That was like episodes TV series. But this is the first full-length film they've done as CG. And let's talk a bit about the production of this film. So it's directed by Goro Miyazaki, who is the son of Hayao Miyazaki. I'm reading from Wikipedia here. It says that he told Goro said that his father, Hayao Miyazaki, told him to go with it. And what he means by that is go with making it as a CG film, and people encouraged him to do it. But after that, he was left on his own and made the anime with young staff and, quote, didn't consult with the old guys at all. And then it goes on to say, quote, he also said that he is the only one at the studio who knows the method of creating CG animation, which I'm sure when people heard that, I hear your reaction there. I'm sure when people heard that raised a lot of red flags for a lot of people, wouldn't you think?
I mean, yes, and quite interesting and debatable to hear that he would sort of go behind his back and just go, more or less, fuck what you say, I'm doing what I want anyway. And and then to have a staff underneath him that it's supposedly been admitted that they don't really know what they're doing, which is kind of like having an F1 team that doesn't know how to change a tire and then just saying do it. You know,
it's a bit, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah,
it's like what? I mean, you know, it's almost like he's asking for trouble here.
Yeah, I don't really understand. Well,
the thing is, my concern moving forward here is that, you know, it sounds like a passionate thing of his to push this CG, and how many more CG productions are we now going to get as a result of this?
Well, this was the thing with Ghibli and CG. There was a documentary that came out a little while ago, a couple of years ago, maybe, I can't remember now. And it's basically about Hayao Miyazaki and him using, he made like a short film using CG. I think it's called Borrow the Caterpillar or something. And if you, I personally haven't seen the documentary, but this is from what I've heard from people who've seen it and what's in it. Like Hayao Miyazaki was talking about the CG and making the CG, and apparently he absolutely hated doing the CG. Like,
right,
he much prefers he much prefers like traditional, like, you know, hand drawn animation and stuff.
Indeed.
And you've seen I think you've seen the Ghibli documentary, The Kingdom of Dreams and Madness, where it follows Miyazaki as he's making The Wind Rises, and it's literally, you see him literally drawing out the storyboards, don't you?
You do, and then alongside that, you see him like sort of draw about 1 million curtains that he's got in his house, you know. He literally closes about, that's the one, right, you're talking about, where he closes, like, he has all these curtains and he closes.
Yeah. It's like he goes into his house and he's like going around his house, like closing all the curtains, and there's like like 1 million windows.
Yes. So yes, I have seen that one. Yeah, very, very interesting indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, so they've gone with CG for this film. Yesterday I showed you the image of the main character, Earwig.
Indeed, yes.
Or Aya, as she's called in Japan. They changed the name in Japan. What were your thoughts on just the not the animation itself, but just the look of like the still image? Yes.
We will get on to the animation in a minute when we talk about the actual trailer, but just to look at the image itself. My first reaction was the same as Adam's, really, and the only comparison that I can think of it is in terms of how it looks is some sort of old knockoff Disney Pixar kind of style, and I don't think it looks particularly good, especially considering the standard that we are used to these days with a lot of other studios.
And just it's like you said. It's like you said at the start, and we'll talk more about this when we watch the trailer. Well, not when we watch the trailer, but when we talk about the trailer even. It doesn't look or feel like a Ghibli film, does it?
Not particularly, no. I no.
It's interesting. I'm not sure what to think about that. I remember I said to you yesterday that the characters' eyes look like they're like a sticker that's been stuck on.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, I've just thought of something else. And I'm just looking at the poster. Actually, I don't know if you agree with this, but I'm just looking at it again, right? Do you remember on the Nintendo Wii, right? And I don't know if this is still a thing, because I don't own a Switch, and I can't remember if this was present on Wii U. I think it was on Wii U as well, but her character actually looks a bit like a Nintendo Mii character.
You could get those on the Wii U, I think. I don't know about. I can't remember. Can you get them on Switch?
I can't remember. I don't know.
But
do you think she looks a bit like a Mii?
A little bit, yeah. I can see what you mean with that. A little bit, yeah. It's
fucking
yeah.
Big up the fucking Mii Chan music, where it goes do 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 on loop for about 10 hours.
Oh, I'm not joking, man. The amount of YouTube like blogs and vlogs and stuff I've seen with that music in the background.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, hey, my God.
Anyway. Sorry. Go on. Carry on.
Yeah. So yeah, and it looks a bit strange, and I'm in two minds about this film. There's part of me that's like, I want to see it because it's a new Ghibli film and I want to see it, and the other reason is because the original story of Earwig and the Witch was written by Diana Wynne Jones, who is the same person who originally wrote Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes, what a film!
That's a classic film. That's one of the Ghibli classics there.
Yes.
So that makes me want to see it. Let's talk about the trailer, though.
Okay. Go on then. You start with this because I've got my thoughts as well.
So,
Go on.
So we went. It was on the HBO Max YouTube channel that we saw this yesterday. And maybe I should have watched it again before this, but oh well, it doesn't matter. So it starts off. I'm not like going to go point for point in the trailer. I'm just going to talk about some things that I thought about it. So it's weird because you see it and like the Studio Ghibli logo comes up at the start, and and it says
sort of like here we go,
and it's like from the creators of Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle and blah blah blah, and then you get this CG thing, and it's like, I don't know about you, but it's like when with Ghibli, you get a certain vibe from their films.
You do this sort of magic almost,
fantasy, like fantasy worlds, all that sort of thing vibe. I don't get that vibe from this film.
No. I'll tell you a little bit about what I think, because it's very short.
I was going to say, I don't get the classic Ghibli vibe from this film.
No. I'll just give you my thoughts really quickly. Basically, I struggle to talk about what I think about this trailer, because in a way I'm trying to look at the film and I'm thinking, yes, I get what it's loosely about. Obviously, you've got this this child that's just sort of orphaned, and then she turns out that she's
a witch. Yeah,
turns out she's a witch, and then she sort of lives with is it like an adopted? Who's it she lives with? Like an adopted nan or something?
It's
apologies, I don't know the full stats of this because I haven't seen it, but
we haven't seen the film.
But yeah, from what I gather,
it's another witch, and she gets adopted by another witch, basically.
Yeah, and it's just about basically her. The impression I get is just her discovering these powers and living with this other witch, and that's about it. I don't really. The trailer doesn't really give much more information. It doesn't really tell you what.
And this is what I said.
Do you know what? I'm struggling because to me, the film. I'll say it straight up. The film looks uneventful and boring with very little depth. Now, I haven't seen the film, so I may be completely wrong, but I just don't get enough or hardly anything from the trailer to encourage me to watch the film. I will for review purposes, but if I wasn't going to review it, I would be tempted to skip this one.
Yeah, I'm looking more forward to the new Hayao Miyazaki film that's coming coming out in a few years, which I don't know how far they've got with that. But last time that there was an update, they don't, and it was like last year or the year before, and they've been working on it for like 4 years. They've only made like 30 minutes of the film or something.
Mad.
I don't know how, because Hayao Miyazaki takes his time, because, well, you know about that. Anyway, yeah, and the other thing with this Earwig and the Witch, and I'm looking here at the poster for the film, how does this like band, because on the poster for the film it's got Earwig and she's singing, and then there's the other characters playing instruments. Like, is that relevant to the plot of the film, or is that just random poster? I don't get it.
Fuck knows. I don't know. See, I wasn't impressed. And talking about the animation and everything from before, from the picture, I guess it doesn't, at least it's not clunky or anything. At least it looks okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so okay, so let's talk about the actual like CG and stuff in the trailer, like actually moving and that. It does, okay, to be fair, it doesn't look that bad when it's like in motion, does it?
No, it's all right. As I say, I've definitely seen better in other studios, but it's all right.
Now, the trailer that we watched was the English dubbed trailer.
Yes, it was on HBO's official YouTube page.
Yes. What did you think of the English voices in the trailer?
Well, I'll let you say you explain most of this, because you were saying about this yesterday, but I didn't think they were very good. But I'll let you elaborate, because I probably agree with you anyway.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the voice cast here, and I think the most famous person in the entire voice cast is like Richard E. Grant.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't think the dub is that great. I know I can't say anything about the Japanese voices because I haven't heard that version, so I don't know about that. But the English version, no. I'm not a fan. I will admit that in the original version of this that we recorded yesterday, I was a lot more harsh on it than I am now.
Yeah,
I was a lot more harsh.
Yeah, I think because we'd only literally just seen it, and it was like an immediate reaction. But talking about just seeing things, an immediate reaction, let's move on to the last point about talking about the release of this film and the review scores.
The review scores. So one thing I forgot to mention, just real quick before we go into that, is I've seen quite a few of people who, and I explained this a bit to you yesterday, didn't I? But I've seen quite a few people who have sort of been comparing this film a little bit to Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, yes.
In terms of, in Kiki's, I know you haven't seen it, but, in Kiki's Delivery Service, the main character, Kiki, she's a witch. She goes off to, like, the city to sort of, like, prove herself. And she's got a black cat with her called Gigi. And she meets all these other characters in the city. It's I'm not saying it's the same as this, but it's similar, because obviously the character Earwig, she's a witch character. She's got a black cat. It's similar-ish to Kiki. So I've seen quite a few people sort of comparing it, saying, oh, it's a little bit similar to that. So I thought that was quite interesting. But yes, let's finish this off then by talking about these review scores then.
Yes.
Now,
go on.
And I've just noticed that these review scores have actually changed a little bit as well.
Oh, blimey!
They're actually gone.
Literally in one day, we've had a whole plot added to Wikipedia.
Type in Earwig and the Witch on Google and search, and then the first thing that you'll see is like some general information and the review scores. Now, don't say what they are yet, but just look at it yourself.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay.
They're actually lower than they were yesterday.
Well,
actually, no. It's a little bit of a mix, actually, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, right.
I've just noticed that. Okay, so
go on then.
Okay, so the first review was from IMDb. Now, you use IMDb quite a bit, so just give us, because I know you know a bit about this, so give us a bit of your sort of knowledge of IMDb. And you like to refer to something which you call the hype score. So let's talk about the hype score.
So normally when a big film comes out, or just any new film comes out, you know how it is, people. You get all these hardcore fans that want to go and see this film ASAP. And the chances are, if you're a very, very big fan, you'll come out of the film thinking, oh, that was absolutely beast. Let's give this the best possible score. That unfortunately is biased and does happen. It just does happen. Or you see the film and you think, oh yeah, you're trying to be subjective about it. You think, oh yes, that's an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed that. But then upon reflection, after a day or so, you think, well, actually, was it that good?
Well, that's what you call. I was going to say.
Yeah,
I'll say that's what you call the hype score.
Yeah, and it's like either yes, it was, and that is testament to the film. Where you go, well, actually, maybe it wasn't really a 9. Perhaps I was just a little bit over the top excited about how the film. Realistically, instead of a 9, maybe it's a 7.5 or an 8 or something like that. And you get this a lot, I feel, on IMDb. I mean, prime examples like I think when the new Star Wars film came out, for example, or whatever, or even back in the day, the Harry Potter film, people were like banging the scores on like a 9 out of 10. I mean, you got to remember that if you use IMDb, guys, to get anything of a 9 or above is like it's so difficult. Like a great film will get probably around about an 8-ish.
Yes.
But anyway, this film on IMDb, in my opinion, didn't even get a hype score. Now, unless this is a sort of a hype score and it's going to go even lower than this score, which is worrying to how...
I mean, it's actually... okay, I just wanted to state for the record... I want to state for the record that when we recorded this yesterday, this IMDb score was actually higher than this.
What was it yesterday?
It was 5... It gone down by 0.1. It was 5.3 yesterday.
Yeah, so it's gone down. So 5.2 out of 10. Now, for me, anything under a 4 is like... avoid. Now there are films with a 5.
So this is like borderline avoid then.
For me, it's borderline avoid because 4 or under is genuinely quite trashy films. Now, when IMDb films do get scores of around 5 or 6, that isn't great. I will say that now, that isn't great. But I've seen films that are rated 5s and 6s. And I've personally liked them, so it's subjective. But for an initial score, that's not good, and it's worrying, really, how potentially poor this film could be. Now, I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but it's not a good score, is it?
No, it's not. The Rotten Tomatoes and the Metacritic scores have actually gone up since yesterday.
Only slightly though. So what was Rotten Tomatoes? Was that
we're not talking. Yesterday the Rotten Tomatoes score was 29%. It's gone up 1 to 30%.
That's still bad though. 30% is still bad though.
It's still bad. Yeah, we're not saying this is like massive increases. This is like really minuscule increases. And the Metacritic score was yesterday. It was 44%, and it's gone up 1 to 45%, which is still bad.
So yeah, there's lots of mixed and averagey review. So my takeaway, usually is a lamb vindaloo. But my takeaway from this, is that at best this film is average, and that's sad. That's sad to know ahead of actually watching this film, because to me that is exactly what all these scores are suggesting. This film is no better than a very, very average film, and that's sad.
Well, that is sad actually. And I watched yesterday. I watched about 3 or 4 YouTube reviews of this film, and they weren't majorly spoilery reviews for the record. They were like sort of non-spoiler reviews. I made sure I found the non-spoiler reviews. And yeah, do you know what? Everyone kind of was saying the same thing of the CG's not that bad. The main issue with the film is the story, and the story is pretty average.
I'm very worried that when I watch this, I'm going to be pretty bored and uninspired. And, you know, at the end of the day, am I just going to go into this film watching an okayish CG looking, average, uneventful, potentially boring story that it's not that exciting? You know, is that what I'm going to get? And that's what I'm being led to believe. So we will be watching this when we can. But I will say that, and Adam may echo these words. I'll let him say what he wants to say in a second. But you know, I haven't got any high expectations of this at all. I'm going into this with very mid to low expectations, and I don't know if I will enjoy this film or not. What do you think then?
Well, it's difficult because, like we said, you know, this is a Ghibli film. You want to think.
Oh, you want to love it, don't you?
You want to love it because it's Ghibli and they've made so many amazing films. I mean, let's just count a few of them off right now. You know, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Grave of the Fireflies, you know, Princess Mononoke, you know, Castle in the Sky, you know, all those classic films that they made. You want to, you know, there's a certain, what's the word? There's a certain caliber that you expect from Ghibli.
Yeah, there is. You do expect something good, something magical, something special when these films are released. And I don't, like we said earlier, I don't get the vibe from this, and like you normally would from a Ghibli film. And it is a bit sort of worrying what we're gonna get. I mean, I know it's already out, but you know, anyway, well, that's I think that's all I've got to say about this for now.
Yes,
until we actually see it. But those are our reactions to the pictures, the trailer, the review scores, and everything. So we'll have to wait and see when we actually see it, and do an actual full review of it, won't we?
We will. Yeah, that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think that we're just like, you know, saying, "Oh, this film's bad," and we haven't even seen it, and we're not going to see it. Blah blah blah. I'm still. And like we've both said, we're still willing to watch it.
Oh yeah, I'm like I said, you know, any review, and I'm because I mostly follow. I know a lot of people don't like IMDb for various reasons, and they say there's a load of conspiracies about that. That's a whole other discussion. But that is a site that I particularly use. So, like I said earlier, if a film gets between a 5 and a 7. I am a little bit wary that it's averagey, but I will always give it a chance. I will always give it, and this, especially being a Ghibli film, I will give it a chance. But let me tell you, if it's shit, or if I think it's shit, I will just tell it as it is. But that will be my opinion, of course.
That's the thing. I was gonna say that. Well, that's the thing with us. We don't sugarcoat things so that we don't annoy people.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna bullshit and lie and pretend this is good just because it's a Ghibli film. I will tell you exactly what I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. We will watch this film now as we're recording this. It's not out in the UK yet.
No.
It will be at some point this year, but we don't know when. When it is, no, it's actually going to get a cinema release here in the UK.
I mean, the cinemas here have been shut for a long time, so it must be later on in the year.
I was going to say whether. Well, mate. Well, whether that's the plan, but whether the cinemas will actually be open for them to be able to do that is another question. But it might just come out on Netflix or something, or I don't know, or DVD or something. I don't know. But we will review this film eventually. We will watch it. We will review it. And like David said, if it's bad, like it, we don't like, we're not going to sit there and say it's good just so we don't annoy people. If it's bad, so I think that's all we've got to say about that for now, isn't it?
Yes. Discussion over, really. So, I don't know when. Me and Adam, this was a very spur of the moment decision to do this yesterday.
I was gonna say, yeah. I'll just give them a little bit of behind the scenes quick. Don't think that we planned this discussion weeks in advance. We literally came up with the idea to do this within about how long did it take us to decide? It was like an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We just do it.
So what I'm saying is, moving forward, is I don't know how many more of these audio only videos we're actually going to do. I suppose if we just cross that bridge when it comes to it, and if something crops up, it does.
We have got some things on the other. Do you want to? Because I'll let you know of a plan for a video that I've got. I'll let people know. So we've got this channel, which is sort of the anime channel that we put anime related things on, and we've got our other channel, which is sort of more variety based, isn't it?
Yeah, which it could be anything. So yes, we will. There are ideas and things. I don't know how much longer we've got to do this for until we can actually see each other again out of lockdown. But yeah, we'll see. But for now, we won't go over that now, because we have gone for quite a while. So yes, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. So let us know what you think. If you've seen the film and you're living in the US, or and you've seen the film, let us know what you think of it. If you've seen the trailer or you haven't seen it yet, and you're wondering about it, let me know what you think about the film, what your thoughts are going into it. I will say
because perhaps we're wrong. We don't know.
Perhaps we're wrong. We might be completely wrong here. It might be a good film.
We'll say we might be looking at all these reviews and looking at the trailer and thinking it's not great, and maybe people are being harsh on it. Maybe it is a little bit better than people think. Who knows?
Who knows? But I will say, so far, I'm not hearing very many positive things about this film.
No, that's true.
Which is not good. So we'll leave it there. So thanks to David for joining me for this.
No worries.
Very impromptu and very quickly put together discussion.
No worries.
It was good. It's always good to discuss these sorts of things. I will let people know really quickly, because we decided this a little while ago. Do you remember in the last one there was something I said that I was going to ask David off the air? I said that. I'm going to let everyone know what we agreed on. So last time when we were talking about Attack on Titan, and we did the discussion about the halfway point, or just before the halfway point at that point. What we've decided that we're going to do is we're actually going to do another one of these once the season's finished, and we're going to sort of basically. Oh no! Did we?
No. I'll tell you. No. So what we're going to do? We're going to wait until before the last episode. So we're going to watch it all the way until before the end, and then we'll do a video talking about how it's all gone in the second part, and our speculation and predictions for how it's going to end. And then once the whole season actually is finished and the last episode is out, we can then talk about a bit about if we were right, if we were wrong, and generally talk about how the season went, and obviously review it.
Yeah. So yes, I forgot that you said that we were going to do sort of like the prediction.
Well, yeah, because I think it'd be interesting, because I'm probably going to completely jinx this now and eat my words later, but I think I've been quite good at predicting a lot of Attack on Titan things. I know I can't prove that, but because because it's been over the years. But Adam will tell you that I think I've been quite good with dissecting the show and predicting things, sometimes actually quite correctly.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, and but yeah, I would agree with that. Anyway, so we'll get to that. That will be coming in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Once Attack on Titan's finishing up. So thanks for listening to our discussion on Earwig and the Witch. And when we see the film, we will review it. And until then, we'll see you next time.
Yes. Goodbye indeed.